I was talking to one of my friends earlier this week, and she was telling me about this torch she has that's powered by denatured alcohol. After Googling it and figuring out what it was, I decided I had to have one. So I spent an evening and built me an alcohol torch. Before I show you how I made the torch, you probably want to understand how the torch works. The torch consists of a plastic bottle that has denatured alcohol in it. Coming out of the cap of the torch is a wick. The wick soaks up the denatured alcohol and you light this. This flame will remain lit as you use the torch. Also coming out of the cap of the bottle is a small tube. This tube is bent so that one end faces directly into the flame. To use the torch, you squeeze the bottle. Squeezing the bottle will force alcohol fumes through the little tube and into the flame. These fumes will then ignite. Now on to how I actually built the torch. I bought the bottle I'm using at Harbor Freight. For the cap, I'm using an old applicator tip from an Elmer's wood glue bottle. I pulled off the outer piece of the applicator tip, and then I cut the plastic until I was left with just a round hole. I then cut a small piece of thin aluminum and rolled it into a tube. I then took the aluminum tube and pushed it into the hole in the cap. The wick I'm using is the same wick that you buy for an oil lamp. I took the wick, I rolled it up a little bit, and then stuck it through the tube in the cap. For the tube, I'm using an 1/8 inch diameter brass tube. I took the tube and I bent it into a rough S shape. I then drilled a hole in the cap and put the brass tube through it. Then I cut the brass tube to length. At this point, the construction of the torch is finished. All to do now is to screw the cap on and wait for the wick to soak up the alcohol. If you like projects like this, be sure to check out my website, backroomworkdesk.com, and thanks for watching.